What the ruling really says is that birthright citizenship is no longer just an immigration issue. It's a constitution. It's in cement. It's locked in. Okay. And shout out to Be Surreal. Thank you so much for the super chat. And the surprising part is the alignment. Justice Barrett joined with the liberals. And the young lady mentions that Justice Chief Roberts joined with the liberals. Justice Kavanaugh didn't join the constitutional majority, but even he agreed that the executive order couldn't stand because the current statute blocks it. So Trump lost 6-3 on the judgment. And the deeper problem is that the 5-justice Roberts majority didn't merely say, Mr. President, you can't do this by executive order. They went even further. They essentially said the 14th Amendment itself protects citizenship for children born here to unlawfully present or temporarily present parents. That shuts down the normal political path. It doesn't just stop Trump. It tells Congress, you can't even make a law to fix this. Okay? And that's a real punch in the mouth. Kavanaugh tried to leave the door open for Congress to open by saying, well, they can amend the appropriate statute. I think it's Title 8 USC subsection 1401. But Roberts said, nah, we're going to slam that door. Congress can't even make a law. Under the majority's logic, if America wants to change birthright citizenship, the only way to do it is a constitutional amendment. And we all know how close to impossible that is. You need 2/3 of both houses, which is going to be impossible because they're split on party lines, so it's not going to happen. Or a constitutional convention, and then you need 3/4 of the 50 United States to ratify. And that's can you imagine getting Texas and California and Illinois and New York and Alabama to agree? They're not going to do it. That's a mountain of hell. It ain't going to happen. Okay. So the practical meaning is this: unless the court changes its mind in the future sometime, birthright citizenship is locked in. No matter how much illegal immigration, birth tourism, and border chaos you all see, or demographic transformation, Americans, all this stuff you see, there's nothing you can do about it. That's basically what they're saying. The majority constitutionalized that rule. And in doing so, they took the issue away from the voters, they took it away from Congress, and they took it away from the president. So I want to get in tight. I want you to understand where I'm coming from, okay? And I'm not here to be gloomy. I'm just telling you what it means, okay? And you don't have to like what I'm saying. This might be disappointing to you. Some of you may like it, but the bottom line is, if you're an American who wanted to preserve a more homogenous America, this ruling is gloomy, okay? And I'm not sugarcoating it. The Supreme Court has now made it clear that birthright citizenship is essentially locked in unless the Constitution itself is amended. And that means the normal political process has been severely limited. Congress can debate, presidents can complain, candidates can complain on immigration enforcement, but unless the border is actually controlled, unless we keep Marines and military on the border, unless people are removed before they give birth or not let in when they're pregnant, unless or put out when they get pregnant, okay, unless employment laws make it nearly impossible for people without legal status to work and settle here, the legal reality is simple. Shout out to Fuquan. Once a child is born on American soil, that child is an American citizen. That's the rule the court just affirmed. And the rule can be exploited. People can come here temporarily, give birth, leave with the child who has American citizenship, and others can cross the southern border unlawfully, disappear into the interior, work under the table, wait out the system, have children here, and create a permanent American family line. Birth tourism operations can make America like a citizenship destination. Families abroad can treat U.S. soil like a legal shortcut. And once the child is born, the legal and political equation changes. That child has a constitutional right that yours have. The child has a claim to this country. The child grows up with voting rights, passport rights, education rights, the right to call America home. And that's why critics call them anchor babies, because that baby becomes the legal, emotional anchor trying to tying the family to the United States. Shout out to Fuquan. You literally could have somebody come up here, have a bunch of kids, go home, and those children would be sending money home. And so how do you build up your community and build it up on your own business? They're just coming and extracting. This is what it looks like. So again, the only real answer left is enforcement before birth happens. What that means is you need to make sure your congressman, if this is what you want, I'm just presenting ideas. Okay. I don't tell people how to vote. Somebody type vote your interests. Okay. What you need is a Congress and a president that's going to keep the border shut down like it is now. You're going to need a president and a Congress that's going to remove people quickly. You got to end the catch and release. You got to make it nearly impossible for people without citizenship or lawful status to work, rent, settle, and disappear into these American cities. Shout out to Big J, because the minute America gets another administration, wink, wink, somebody type Sleepy Joe, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, the minute America gets another administration that decides not to enforce the border, the whole system changes again. Once people walk in, stay in, and have children here, the government has already lost the most important part of the fight. At that point, the child is a citizen. This anchor babies away. And I'm not fear-mongering. This is just the practical effect of the ruling. That's all it is. Vote your interest. That's all I'm saying. If you want it, vote one way. If you don't want it, vote another way. And here's the thing you need to understand. Over the next several decades, Americans should expect a change. Lots of change. You're going to deal with new cultures, new languages, new religions, new voting blocks, new political demands, new faces in old neighborhoods, new fights over schools, jobs, housing, public benefits, policing, identity, and what it even means to be an American. This is where we're going. Some people are going to say that makes America better. Shout out to Brown Eyes. And some people are going to say that weakens the country that our ancestors built. But either way, the America of the future is going to look, it may not look like the America of the past or even the America of today. And it may not even look like the America we know or thought we were going to have. And that's the effect of Trump v. Barber. The Supreme Court has made one thing very clear also. If Americans want a different outcome, they can't depend on the president's executive order. They'll need a constitutional amendment, a sealed border, real enforcement, and a political will that lasts longer than one election cycle. I want to thank you all for the time you spent with me. I appreciate you, and I hope you learned something. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is Uncle D, and I am out.